Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our Discord server. As you can see, we try posting updates every couple of hours and we post them multiple times a day. So if you want to know what's going on in the market before I upload my videos, then check out the YouTube memberships or the Patreon. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. So as you can see, Cardano is still in a correction, and I went ahead and added some wave count on this chart because I think this is actually pretty accurate. So here we have a first wave move up. And by the way, these are the 5 waves of this fifth wave move to the upside. So here we have the first one to set up. The first wave is only in 3 waves, which I don't really like, but you know, that keeps happening on the altcoin charts, so there's nothing to do about that. But still, I mean, we have a 1-2 setup, then we have the third wave, and right now we are working on the fourth wave, and this does not look complete to me. As you can see, we need some kind of ABC structure. Right now we only have the A wave of that ABC structure, and as you can see, this B wave is currently getting rejected. So yeah, this is most likely C wave, and we will most likely drop to about 89.6 cents next to test the 0.618 extension in the C wave. Now of course there is potential for Cardano to get a much bigger correction, and to be able to confirm that we are getting a bigger correction, we need a break below the 0.786 support level, which is at 83.7 cents. If we get below that level, then the top is already in, and yeah, we are going in a second wave move down. Now, by the way, that's the second wave of this very large first wave move to the upside that we actually started back here in August this year. And yes, you could say that this is already complete. We just need that kind of confirmation. And like I said, dropping below 83.7 cents would confirm that. Now, there's also this support zone on the chart, and this is in case we actually get a second wave move down right now, and in case we don't actually get another high. And as you can see, I mean, the second wave move down right here will also need an ABC structure, and this will be very, very deep in my opinion. We will most likely test the 50% extension at least before we continue going back up. And you know, these corrections are normal, but don't expect this correction to take weeks or months like the correction right here took. Don't expect the price to go sideways for like 2 months or so. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's very unlikely to happen at least. Now, to confirm that we have actually bottomed right here, we would need a break above $1.15. So we need a break above this high right here, and then the fifth wave needs to get to approximately $1.24. Then we should most likely get some kind of correction, because don't forget, if you look at the daily RSI, it's extremely overbought, and this does not usually happen on the Cardano chart. I mean, we have never been this overbought on the daily, so at some point, of course, we will need some kind of correction. But keep in mind, this could keep going up, because at the end of the day, things are very bullish right now, and if you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, Bitcoin dominance keeps putting in lower lows right here, so maybe the top is already in, but keep in mind what I said at the beginning of the month. And what did I say? Well, I said that each November Bitcoin dominance goes down, and you know, I'm not really surprised that we're going down right now, and it's very difficult to say what will happen next, because as you can see here in the previous cycle, November was also red, and then December was green, and we put in a new cycle high there. Well, we actually put a new cycle high in January, but this is when the altcoin season started, so it's very hard to say if we will copy what we did here, or if we will copy what we did in the previous, well, in the 2017 cycle. As you can see here, we went down in November, we were going up in October and September, and we continued to go down in December. We never actually went up after that, so we are either copying the 2017 cycle or the 2021 cycle, and only time will tell which cycle we are copying. All I know is that we are very close to topping if we have not topped already, and if we somehow get a new high in December, don't expect the altcoins to just die or something. That's obviously not gonna happen. I mean, many altcoins are already going up and they already are starting to outperform Bitcoin, so if they get outperformed in December, it's not going to be a big deal. Now, if you check out what happened in the previous cycle, as you can see, Cardano went up approximately 100% in November, and yes, I did predict that move, but I was not expecting Cardano to go up like 300% in November this year. I was only expecting a 100% pump, and we got way more than that. So things are already more bullish than they were down here. And if you can remember what I said in my previous videos, before we actually had a pump in November, we were pretty much going sideways in September and October, and in this cycle we did the exact same thing. We were going sideways, we were not doing anything, we were below the bull market support band, we just had a cross, and all of a sudden we pumped. And if you look at what happened in the previous cycle, it's the exact same thing. We were going sideways, we had a cross, and then we just exploded to the upside. So why am I telling you this? Well, because right now we are pretty much down here. And if you look at this from a monthly perspective or a daily perspective, if you zoom out, as you can see, when we were down here on November 25th, 2020, the price was at like 18 cents or so, and now the price is at like $1. So things are actually looking a lot better than they looked in the previous cycle. Now why is that? Well, in my opinion, it's because in the previous cycle we had this pandemic drop that happened after we were trying to go up in a 1-2 setup right here. And like I said, this 1-2 setup looks way more similar to the 1-2 setup right here that we have right now than this one. And you know, I think Cardano would have kept going up right here if it weren't for the pandemic. And in my opinion, Cardano would have gotten to like $5 if it weren't for the pandemic in the previous cycle. So that's why Cardano in the previous cycle did not go up as much in November as it's doing right now. Now, of course, cycles do not repeat themselves, so you're not gonna see a one-to-one copy of this cycle. But I think it's pretty safe to assume that Cardano will hit like $5 to $8 on this cycle, and it's gonna look pretty similar to what happened over here. I don't know if it's gonna be a double top or just one top, but honestly it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you actually sell when we are in this region right here, because if you hold for the next bull market, I mean, your portfolio is just going to go down. It's not a question. I mean, as you know, altcoins go up like 90% in the bear market, maybe even more. There are some altcoins that went down like 98% in the previous bull market and then they somehow recovered. So yeah, I would not suggest holding altcoins in the bear market. Now, where am I expecting a bear market to start? Well, if you look at what happened in the previous cycle, the bear market pretty much started in November of 2021, and in the cycle before that, it actually started in January of 2018. But keep in mind, Bitcoin actually topped in December of 2017, which was a month earlier. So yeah, here we actually topped after Bitcoin topped, and here we topped before Bitcoin topped. As you can see here, we topped in August, and Bitcoin actually topped in November. So it's very hard to say when we will top exactly, like in which month, but I'm expecting Bitcoin to top somewhere between September and November of 2025, which means that Cardano should also top somewhere between, let's say, August and January of 2026. We don't know exactly which cycle we will follow, so I don't know if Cardano will top before or after Bitcoin tops, and that cannot really be predicted, so it's really hard to say what will happen. All I know is that Cardano will most likely get to new all-time highs very soon. And what do I mean by very soon? Well, let's check out when we got to all-time highs in the previous cycle. As you can see, in the previous cycle, we finished the third wave of the third wave on February 25th, 2021. And that third wave put us above the previous all-time high. So right now, if we want to copy what we did over there, we need to get to approximately $3.16 by February 25th, 2025. Now, like I said, be careful and remember that we don't have to copy exactly what we did here. Maybe we'll do something entirely different. Maybe we will get there sooner than in the previous cycle, or maybe we'll get there later, like in April or maybe May. Nobody really knows what will happen, and we only have one cycle, so, you know, yes, you can use this as some kind of reassurance, I guess, but this does not have to happen again. Keep in mind, though, Bitcoin is still doing Bitcoin things, and I'm still expecting it to top somewhere between $255,000 and $300,000. So things are obviously still bullish, and if you look at the monthly Bitcoin chart, as you can see, it's overbought, but when you compare this to what happened in the previous few cycles, in 2021, do you see how overbought it was? Right now it's at an RSI of like 75. Here it was at like almost 90. Well, actually 90 here, and here it was 96. So we obviously still have a long way to go. This does not look like a top on the RSI, definitely not. So that's why I believe 255k is possible. I believe we will get to like an RSI of about 95 or so if we get to like 300k, and maybe an RSI of like 90 if we get to 255k. So for those saying that this is unreasonable and that it makes no sense for Bitcoin to get to 255k, bro, just zoom out and look at this chart. Of course it can get to 255k. It can go even higher than that in my opinion. So whatever happens to Bitcoin, Cardano will follow, and of course it's going to be a late performer like it always is. But once Cardano wakes up, then it goes up forever. Well, at least for the remainder of the bull market. And yeah, we'll see what happens in the next couple of days. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon. If you want access to our Discord server and to our charts, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.